48 hours into learning my wife was on the path to a full-blown affair. Needed to write this somewhere as I feel like I have nobody to talk to at the moment. Forgive me if I ramble. This October will mark 27 years of marriage. We have 2 kids, daughter lives at home with us, recently married, while waiting for her husband's deployment to the Air Force. Our son is a Marine and lives on the opposite coast. We've had a rough patch for probably the last 6 months that is mainly based on me having ED. To be blunt, my wife wants a lot of sex and there's only so far I can go. Tried multiple pills and nothing has worked. Used toys and tried to get creative, but for her it's not the real thing. She was becoming more and more distant and actually lashing out at me saying I didn't love her anymore or I wasn't attracted to her. I've had my own struggles dealing with ED and I did turn her down for sex sometimes because I feel horrible about how it all goes down knowing she is not fully satisfied. My wife is on social media quite a bit and posts a lot. Nothing crazy, but we're different that way. I like to read what my friends are up to but don't post a lot while she is constantly posting. For a couple of months she started posting a lot of pictures of herself, which typically get a lot of her friends telling her how beautiful she is. I noticed a guy was all over her posts, but figured hey, some guy probably has a crush on my wife, but my wife would never engage in anything like that. So the last few months my wife started becoming more distant while getting upset with me and suggesting I was the one not giving her enough attention. With the whole COVID thing she's not working and I'm working full-time at home. I figured this was a case of the stress of everything going on but made an effort to engage even more with her. I would come out of our office as much as possible during the day and come down to talk to her. She was clearly shutting me down and pushing me away at that point. We had a huge blow-up where she laid out everything she's unhappy about. I'm not giving her what she needs. She needs to feel closeness. She needs more intimacy. Longer discussion led to her saying our current sex life was a big problem and she craves so badly what no longer works in me. I feel awful, but don't know what else to try. So to try and get to where things went completely sideways. 2 nights ago we're talking and her phone goes off. I was right next to her and it was a Facebook Messenger message from a guy. The same guy who was heavily engaging with her on Facebook. It pops up right in front of us. Miss you. Thinking about you. I'm like, what the hell is that? She starts by explaining that he's just a friend that she knew growing up and he reached out on Facebook. They knew each other's families, so it really is nothing. What proceeded to happen throughout the night was unwinding a series of lies where I'd learn more and more. They've been talking for months, but just reminiscing about family and childhood stories. Then it went to she was telling him she is struggling in her marriage, but she swears that was it. I pushed for her to come clean and it went further. They were exchanging fantasies about what they'd do to each other. She was breaking down saying she just needed sex so bad. And again, we have sex in the sense that we do as much as we can without penetration. She finally says I have to go out. I promise I'll be back, but I know this is horrible and I need to think. I almost lost it as she was walking out and said please don't leave me, but I'd bit my tongue. I figured she was going to call a friend or something. I'm talking a girlfriend here. In maybe a dick move it hit me that what are the odds she is talking to this guy, and I went to the Verizon site and looked at her phone logs. Sure enough, it showed a number she had a 30-minute call with right after she left. I started doing every bit of research to find out who it was. It was getting really late and I was super concerned about why she wasn't coming back. I texted a few times, but she didn't answer. Eventually, I get a text around 2 a.m. that she's coming home. When she got home I asked what she had done. She told me she went to see one of her girlfriends and I said, who did you call? She said she called her girlfriend. I know her friend's number because our families are friends, so I said I know you made another call. She looked shocked and I said just come clean. She said when she left she called him to tell him what was happening. I pointed out that she has been continuously lying throughout the night. So at that point so came out with all of it. So throughout the night and into the dawn it all came out. She said they haven't had sex yet, but they were to the point they were planning and she said it was definitely going to happen. I asked her multiple times throughout the night if it was going to stop and she was invested in us. Every time I got a non-committal answer. She's confused. She feels lost. She told me that she wouldn't talk to him at one point, but he reached out to her the next day and they spoke for about 20 minutes. Sorry for rambling. I don't have the first clue what to do. I really have no one to talk to. It's so weird that she is looked at as a pillar of our community and I'm just the quiet, hard-working husband. If you were to be told that there was an affair going in between us, I guarantee everyone that knows us would want to know what the hell I've done. Maybe that doesn't matter, but again it's just feeling like I can't turn anywhere. I don't even know how to wrap this up. I'm in so much pain. Like I can feel physical pain from this. My chest is hurting and I feel so sick. If you read this far, thank you. I don't know what to do. Update 2: 48 hours into learning my wife was on the path to a full-blown affair. Today marks 3 years since I posted this thread. It was one of the darkest times of my life, but I wanted to share this update because in my mind, a miracle happened the night I posted this and want to share that there is definitely hope for the future when your life might seem to be crashing all around you. Writing the post was very difficult and out of character for me, but at the time I felt like I had nobody to turn to. If you look through the thread, there is one reply that basically says, "I've sent you a message." I responded. Over the next few weeks, this woman shared her story with me, very similar, and gave me advice and support. We learned about each other and eventually developed a friendship. We went from Reddit messaging to texting to calling and eventually we agreed to meet. Our closest friends were cautioning us to take things slow. But something clicked in us, and it wasn't long after we met and started seeing each other that we knew we were in love. Fast forward to 3 years later, marriage is in our future. I am more happy and in love than I have ever been. It's not lost on us that we both shared in the horrible experience of infidelity. It's admittedly something that bonded us together. But that's also increased our communication abilities, as we know we are two people with emotional scars. The love and safety that I feel with this woman is immeasurable. So I'm sharing this today because it's been 3 years. You can and will get through your hardships. There is happiness and love out there. The best advice I got going through it was to work on myself. Eat right, exercise and self-care. Work on myself to become better. Don't worry about everything else and happiness and joy will find you. Don't give up. Keep pressing forward and there are good things to come in your life.